How about you?
I'm good. I'm very well. I'm even more excited now that I know that there are rules for effective personal finance management during a pandemic. And I know that myself and the listeners want to know what these rules are as we get into the book, but I know you'll give us a brief introduction of yourself very quickly before we get into the book.
Okay. Thanks once again for the opportunity. I have it rightly said. My name is Patrick Bampa. I'm a chartered banker and a global financial analyst. I'm also a financial teacher with Patrick TVDH, the YouTube channel where we teach about money and all that. I also work with the Chartered Institute of Bankers, and basically we train professional bankers in the country. So that's
Lovely.
basically a brief about who I am.
All right, and you also wrote this book, Rules for Effective Personal Finance Management During a Pandemic.
Yes, please.
It's a bit
Yes.
of a mouthful, this title, but as I said, very fitting for what we are currently experiencing. So if we could get into it, a bit of a summary of the first chapter, the first few pages, if you can read that for us, and then, or the first rule even, and then we can dissect it a little bit in this segment.
Okay, so once again, thank you for the opportunity. So the book you just mentioned is giving us a brief about how we need to manage our financial status even before COVID-19, during COVID-19, and after COVID-19.
Okay.
And the whole book is talking about financial discipline. Now, when you say financial discipline, what we are saying is that it's basically how we are able to conform our spending and savings to a plan that we set for ourselves. So as workers, as people that are working, people that have a form of income, we need to have a plan for the income that we are earning because today, as we see it right now, may not be the same tomorrow. Just like us, most of us, when we went to church for our resolution, we never thought of a time like the COVID-19, where workers will have to stay at home. People in the teaching field for almost 5 months are still at home. Most of us didn't think about some of these eventualities. But as we speak, we have COVID-19, which has one, taking some people out of work. Then two, some people have also, experienced half salaries and even no salary at all. So when you are not financially disciplined, you will not be able to conform your spending and your savings into your plans that you set for yourself. Now, when you talk of plan, basically what we are saying is that what are the goals that you set for yourself when you receive income? The goals that you set for yourself basically will have to be maybe short term, medium term, and long term. So someone's short term goals will be just to maybe get a place that he wants to rent, maybe buy a car, prepare for some marriage. Someone's long term will be to buy a land, start a building project. These are all goals that you need to set for yourself. And if you don't have that financial discipline plan that we are talking about, you will not be able to achieve some of these things. And the bedrock of the financial plan that we are talking about is what we call savings. I know most people, when they hear savings, savings seems very far from them. But savings basically is that portion of your income that you decide not to spend today, but keep it for a future date. In most times among ourselves, we have for a savings equation that I say is very wrong. Our savings equation is that when we receive our income, we spend everything, and whatever is left, we say we are saving. That is not the proper savings plan that will help you to succeed in COVID. In
Okay.
COVID, you need to receive your income, save a portion before you start spending. Because like I said, we don't know how long the COVID will be with us. So it's important that we get this perspective right before we really look at the basic steps that we need to consider as we battle this COVID-19. So
Okay.
basically, the tips we are going to look at today, we are going to look at just five tips. The first one is that we need to avoid debt. In times of COVID-19, this is not a time for you to be engaging yourself in debt that will not help you. Every debt that you want to incur in times of COVID-19 should be related to things that you need and not things that you want. There's a difference between needs and wants. And needs is something that you cannot do without. So like food, shelter, clothing, these are things that we say they are needs. So if you want to really incur any debt under a pandemic, it should be for a need, not a want. And a want may be to go and buy an additional shoe, to go and buy an additional phone, which is not really a key thing that you need now. It's therefore important you don't focus on that. You need to avoid debt. That's one. And two, you need to align your income to your lifestyle. What it means here is that If your income is 1,000 cedis, make sure your lifestyle is matching that 1,000 cedis. Don't behave like someone who is, earning 5,000 when your income is 1,000. So that includes things that you buy, the shop that you go, your friends that you roll with, the places that you go. All these things which form part of your lifestyle to be matching with your income. Also, we need to start a savings plan. The savings plan here means you need to be consistent in what you want to do. So, for example, if you decide that in a month you are going to save 20% of your income into an investment plan, that should be consistent. You should not start 20%, then the next month you stop, the next month you go and start. It doesn't help you to reach that goal that you have set for yourself. So we need to have a savings plan. Then we also need to prepare for contingencies, just as we have with COVID-19. You need to have a buffer of income to support yourself when you go through challenges. And one of the key things that helps when you go through challenges like this is what we call insurance. You need to have insurance for yourself and for your family. Insurance in the form of educational insurance, life insurance, property insurance. It's important that you have these things written down and working towards them. Then finally, because of our time, we also need to manage our energy at home. Even though the government has reduced energy, data, and all that, if you don't manage it yourself, you will not feel the impact of the reduction that has been given by the government. So it's important. Most of us, we spend so much on our data. We spend so much on our electricity. It's important that as you go through a pandemic like this, you manage them judiciously. Watch how you use them. If it's prepaid, make sure things that need to be off are always off. If it's a normal one, make sure you are using your energy well. Don't be buying data just to entertain yourself when there's no value to your life. Otherwise, when the whole process is over, you realize that you are going to start the whole lifestyle again. You are going to start the whole journey of financial discipline again, and that will not help you to achieve whatever purpose you want to achieve. So basically, these are the things that we need to consider.
These are the things that we need to consider as we move towards a pandemic and challenging ourselves in times like this.
Okay.
Wow.
That was some very good advice, and these rules are, very important, especially in these times. So, I made a couple of notes, and one thing that stood out was, in the beginning you said financial discipline is key, and also that we've got to plan for, eventualities as they happen. Nobody planned for COVID-19, of course, so we didn't have that foresight.
Yeah.
But now that we are living through the pandemic, we have to, make sure that our short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals align with this unfortunate pandemic as well. You mentioned savings, and, people do it in the reverse. They spend the money, whatever is left goes into the savings. But a good point you made was that when you receive the money, what you should be doing is saving whatever is left, then you can ration and then spend accordingly. Have I been a good student? Have I gotten down the core points?
Excellent.
Perfect.
Excellent. If I'm to mark you, I'll be giving you about 95%.
Absolutely lovely. Now,
No, but this one, dear, what?
oh, don't be jealous. Alfred is jealous that he's not as good a student.
But the last point about managing your energies or your expenditure at home,
Yes.
it's quite tempting because you see now the water and electricity free. If you don't control yourself, just as our CEO for this morning is sharing with us, if you don't control your pattern of spending or your behavior when it comes to usage of water and electricity, you might be developing an indisciplined attitude after everything is over. So if you get used to free water and free electricity, when there is no free water and free electricity, it will be going to be difficult to reverting.
Discipline has to be strong all throughout.
I'm telling you.
Financial discipline has to be strong. But this has been absolutely a great way to kick things off this Monday with our new book. Now, tomorrow again, and for the rest of the week, Patrick will be joining us and we'll be getting deeper into the book, Rules for Effective Personal Finance Management During a Pandemic. I know today was a bit of an overview and kicking things off. Tomorrow, we'll be flipping through the pages and getting more tips, more rules, more education on what to do with our monies during this time. So, Patrick, thank you so much for kicking things off with us. I know it's going to get even more exciting as the week goes on. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for the opportunity also. We'll meet again tomorrow.
Lovely. We'll speak tomorrow.
Okay. Bye.
I mean, so that was good. We kicked things off with a new CEO, and we're here to enrich your lives. We're giving you that money apport. The book is Rules for Effective Personal Finance Management During a Pandemic. Now, Patrick Ba Abankwa, he's a financial analyst, also a lead columnist for the Business and Financial Times newspaper. So you're in safe hands. This is somebody who knows what he's talking about when it comes to money. And he gave us some 5 tips about avoiding debt, aligning your income to your lifestyle. I quite like that. It says you can't have, a champagne lifestyle on a beer budget. You need to, be careful how you align the lifestyle and the money.
You can't have a champagne lifestyle
on a beer budget.
On a beer budget.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah, I mean.
You can't have champagne taste on a beer budget.
I can understand why you are doing this. Because the beer bars have been open now.
Well, the open space ones. Okay, let's clarify. Open space drinking spots, open air, as he said, open air space. But also, he says have a savings plans and manage your energy at home, your data consumption, all of that stuff. So those were the tips for the morning.
This is a great one because the tendency of you developing this attitude because everything is free, especially with the free water now. If you don't control yourself.